Welcome everybody to Trap Life, the home where three-back coaches get to pick each other's brains and share and feel welcome in this hostile world of spread football. My name's Nate Albaugh. A lot of you guys been around for a while. You know me, long time nobody high school football coach in Illinois. And alongside me today, Patrick Threet, who is the head football coach at St. Clair Shores Lakeview High School. Now, coach, is one of those the town and one of those the name of the school?
Lakeview is the name of the school, and St. Clair Shores is our city.
Okay, St. Clair Shores. So does that mean it's on the lake there over by Detroit?
Yeah, our school is about 1.5 miles from Lake St. Clair.
Now, I got a buddy that lived in that area. How far are you from Grosse Pointe?
We border them.
Okay, so you're neighbors.
Yeah.
All right. I can't remember which Grosse Pointe he went to, north or south. I remember their colors were green.
That's north.
There we go, north. He's a Grosse Pointe North guy. Well, anyway, guys, Lakeview High School, about 1,400 kids. And coach is a three-back guy, and he's going to share with you. Coach, how long have you been a three-back? You say you're in the T?
Yeah, we're in the T. I would say probably like 2013 when I was at Fraser, we started to experiment with it. We began as a double tight, double flanker, midline veer team. And then we wanted to get a little short yardage package. And one of my old coaches said, you know, you could really, what we went to, we had the tailback real deep. And he's like, you can't run midline or veer. And he's like, you should run it out of the T because you can run it out of that. And that's your best stuff. And then we started just looking at other guys that ran the T. And we're like, wow, this is pretty good. And we kind of had it in as that package for short yardage. And then one time we did it in the second quarter and they didn't stop us. And then we said, we'll try it in the third quarter. And we slowly got less and less of spread and more T.
Yeah. So it happened to you over time.
Yeah. And it's through stuff like this and reaching out to other guys, you know, in our state. We got some great coaches in Michigan here that run the T really well. And over COVID, Gus Kapolka from Cedar Springs, us put together some Power T Zooms. And there was guys from all over the country and just really awesome, you know, to learn and just to keep closing the gap on where you're at as a coach is really what it's about. And we're still working a lot. We're not where we want to be, but we feel like we're heading in the right direction.
Well, what I love about the T, or what a lot about offenses, is that these offenses kind of get localized in parts of the country. And it's no secret that Michigan is home of the T, that you're going to see way more T in Michigan than you're going to see in other states. But it is slowly probably because of the pandemic and everybody starting to watch more film and share more and get with each other more. You're starting to see it more and more and more. Well, Coach, I don't want to chew up any more of the time. I'm going to turn it over to you. And Coach is going to present. He's got I'll just let him share, but it has to do with trap. And Coach, take it away when you're done, unshare, and I'll have some questions for you.
Sounds good. All right. Nate, we're good to go?
All set.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to slide this out of there. As Nate said, my name is Pat Threet. I'm from St. Clair Shores, Michigan, and we are in Macomb County. Just outside of Detroit. We play in a conference called the MAC. We have 36 schools, various sizes. And one of the reasons that I kind of got to be a three-back coach was because a lot of people in our area don't run it. So I wanted to try to create an advantage for me and our kids to have people, when they play us, it's really the only time they see it. Now, throughout the years, some other guys have started to run it as a package and stuff like that. But for the most part, we're the team that runs it full time. All right. So what I want to talk about is running trap with counter action. This is something that we found to be very helpful for kind of breaking that big run. We get a lot of teams that will read various different things, but this is one of our things we do for when guys want to read our halfback to give them a little bit of conflict. So for us, our terminology, the two running backs to the left and the right, we call those halfbacks. and the back in the middle, we refer to him as the tailback. And for us, we call it our 40 or 41 is our inside trap. And for us, this is our home run play. It's the one that goes fastest north and south for us. And just kind of drew up a little diagram here, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it. But essentially, we're gonna trap that first guy on or outside the play side guard is kind of our rule, and we're real big on that with our kids to emphasize those rules and make sure that they understand what we have in that. So as you can see here, the right halfback, he's actually going to be the guy that goes last. The tailback's going to be the first guy to go through. He's going to get the ball, and the left halfback's going to carry out a fake. And we ask him to take his fake a little bit wider. And what we're trying to do is occupy the corner and the safety on both sides with halfback action coming wide and hopefully opening up the middle of the field. When we talk about running our trap, a lot of people talk about the midline. So I just wanted to draw this up there for you. We do a lot of our work right off the yard line, where the center is split by the yard line. The quarterback is the green circle there, and the tailback is the blue circle. And the red line would represent the midline. Now, when we run our trap, our tailback is owning the midline, meaning he's going to step. If we're running 40, we have him step with this play side foot as tight to that midline or on that midline as possible. And then his second step, he's getting the ball. That's going to be his plant step. And then he wants to work and get to what we refer to as the wall of friendly buttholes. And that's the diagram that we have over here on the right. Now, if you notice, we go back to where it says the tailback owns the midline. We have the quarterback's footworks. He needs to be off the midline in order to allow the tailback to have it. So this is a diagram that we like to use to represent their feet. He's going to be off of it. This is the quarterback's first step, open and get his back to the line of scrimmage and hide the football. And then his second step is right here, pressing off. And here's the tailback's first step. We are a high cradle, layer the football team. We'd like to hide the football is what we want to do. We're looking for an element of deception, and we got to have our guys that don't have the football acting like they do have the ball. Now, if we take a look over here, this is a term that our kids laugh at, but then they get to understand it. In order for our guys to be successful at this, we talk about the importance of running tight to the wall. And we'll use the analogy like, hey, if you're playing basketball, a guy sets a screen or a pick and you come right off of it. There's not a lot of space in between you and that guy, but we're coming tight. And when we get like the center here, blocking the nose, play side guard, he's looking to see if that play side backer is on and hard, and he's going to come downhill. He'll take him. The center will be by himself. But if he's off and soft, we're going to block down and try to get a double team. And then you can see our tackle, he's working down, and our tight end. And we'll line those guys up right there. And we'll just tell the tailback, get the ball, be layered, be square, and hug tight and be patient. We talk about our guard. If you're pulling right, you're hitting with your right shoulder, get inside out. And then his rear end should be right here. So that is giving us two sets of butts that the guys are running through. On our next slide here, just kind of got it drawn up a little bit more. Just wanted to give an example here where like this red box is, that's kind of like the alley that our tailback is trying to get through. And then you can see our left guard here is kicking out the tackle, and they're going to run tight to the wall, not to the kick out, not to the trap guy. Because sometimes these guys are really good and they're going to can be really handsy, and they can come down there and close. But the good thing for us is that we're able to get to second level and get a double team at the first level where we can hopefully get some push and establish that wall. So I would say if you guys are going to run this, you really have to put a big point of emphasis of staying tight to the wall and being in there, because even if this guy is a real good player, if we get movement through double teams or getting off the ball, we got a chance. I'm gonna go ahead and get into some film here, and we'll have these clips on there later, so you'll be able to get them. I know on Huddle sometimes it's a little bit choppy, so I'm going to go through and take you guys through this. Here's where we're faking 40, and the right halfback is going to fake the counter, and he's coming off tackle the other way. Now, as we're doing this, we would really like our quarterback to be, we don't really like him with his toes kind of on an angle here. We'd like to get his back to the line of scrimmage. Our tailback is really good. You can see he's layered. He's getting that ball in the high cradle. He gets the ball. One of the really good things that this young man did is he really stayed square, and he allowed his blocks time to get set up. And then the other thing that I think is an advantage of doing the counter action off of this and running the trap is when these guys are coming out wider, it's making 13, it's making this safety kind of worry that they're coming off tackle there. And that allows our tight ends to get down the field and kind of create a funnel for those guys to block out on those players. And we're able to get off to the races and get a really nice play. So again, we like this counter action, and we feel like it gives us a nice advantage to kind of slow down their safety play. I'm gonna go ahead and go on to the next clip I have here. So the next thing we have here is the same type of action. We're getting counter, but one of the things we're doing here is we're going to have a switch call between the tight end and the tackle. Okay. Sometimes these guys will get where they're inside eye, and this is the guy that we're going to trap. And he doesn't know he's knifing inside. So we're having problems. So those guys have the ability to take a look and see that and make a call. So that's going to be where we have the tight end. He's going to come through as narrow as he can, and he's got to clip that play side linebacker. And we tell him it doesn't have to be like a highlight film shot. You kind of be like a bug on a windshield driving down the road. You know, just get enough piece of them to protect the back. And that's really what happens on this play. You could see we would like him to get his head across, but really he gets enough piece that it's making that guy being an arm tackle. And now the guy's off and down the races for another touchdown. Go ahead and let that play in full speed. And the thing you got to really do is you can see our tight end here and our tackle, like that when we switch, these guys are switching responsibilities. They're able to get downfield, and they're guys that are setting up those touchdown blocks. 6 should have been more backside on that. I think on this one, it's given us a good example of building the wall. We have another switch going on up top. You see the tight end right here, and the tackle is wrapping around. And you can see right here, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about building this wall right here. And now you can see our back right here with the ball. And he's right behind that wall. And it really allows him to hide in there. Go ahead and show that again. Again, for us, these guys are exchanging responsibilities. And that's the picture right there that we want to see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys right there. And that back is staying tight right in there. And those guys have a hard time picking him up. Another trap with the switch. You can see the play side. This is where the switch is occurring. Oh, this is actually, this one kind of got messed up, but this is for the T guys, this is a good play. We call our series 46, 47. So this is actually one that we call 47 tail. So it's running off tackle to the tailback in the C gap. So we're faking, but the tailback is the one getting it, and the halfback is going to go, he's going wider. And that kind of influences those guys to get out. So I apologize, but that one I wasn't planning on sharing, but it's in there. So you guys got one. Again, it's a play to the tailback. So in that series where we go trap or we fake trap and we go off tackle, this is a really good play. Again, staying tight to the wall. The running back does a really nice job here. He's square, he's following his guard, stay tight to the wall. So that teaching point of stay tight to the wall of friendly buttholes is something that those backs, the really good backs, they get it. They understand it. And we've been real fortunate to have some really good guys that get that concept down. Here's it from the end zone view. You get a good look here at the wall. Tight end, tackle, guard, the wall's built right there. And the tailback's coming through. And again, that's just our off tackle play that we run. And in this instance, we change, instead of the halfback getting the ball, we give it to our tailback. Just want to get to one other one that I think someone shared with me that I think has been good. When we go with our full flow action, meaning if we were saying, 46, we're going off tackle to the right over here. This place at halfback would, in the 46, he would J block, and then he would get the ball and he would fake trap. So we got a tip from somebody that said sometimes, when that action is that way, just call it, like opposite or joke, or have a term that you use to tell these two halfbacks, like, hey, we're still running trap the way we call it. So for us, we say 40, and then we tell these backs, hey, you guys, you're going to do the opposite of what you should do in 40, because in 40, you should go to the play side, which is to the right. But now we're going to say 40 opposite. Sometimes we get guys keying on these guys. So this is running inside trap, but having the backfield action go the opposite direction. And I think you can kind of look at these outside support players or the safety, and they're getting key reads. They're thinking, boom, this is off tackle. Let's attack. Let's get over the top. You'll get a good look at this safety right here. He's been, hey, you got to give us run support on off tackle over here. So now he's going out there, and now it kind of parts. It parts real nice there for us. I'll go ahead and take that back. Play it full speed. So he scores on this play, but this is the part of this offense that we feel like we're growing in, and that in order to be good at it, you have to have guys that carry things out. And what they're doing without the ball is as important as what they're doing with the ball. So giving good effort and getting down the field. I'll share this one from our end zone view. I apologize, guys. We'll have all these clips at the end. So here you can see we're going to trap this young man right here. And you can see these guys. It's not the most beautiful wall, but we've got 3 guys right there. We got this guy working down to the safety. This tight end doesn't really have to get there because this guy's kind of taking himself out of the play. Take another look at that. But again, getting these guys to get the ball and have those shoulders square and getting through there, that allows them to have a two-way go. And we're real fortunate, like I said, to have some pretty good backs. Last one I'm gonna share with you is sometimes you get some teams that are really tough against your inside trap, and we have trapped the next guy, but we actually have oh, I'm sorry, apologize. Let me get this here. I had an example of those guys carrying out those fakes good. Okay. So they're not all like home runs, but here's a trap play, and we're second and long, and we pick up a really nice play. This play has been really good to us. Thing I want to notice is these guys right here. Okay, we're running the ball inside, but we're getting guys to give effort and run like they have the football over there. And that's really part of the key to this stuff. Like, get those guys. 55 here, he really could have made the play. I mean, he's right there, but that's the guy with the ball. But when you get all this flow and all this action coming that way, it does make it challenging, and I'm sure they've been coached up not to do that, but they're high school kids and they make mistakes. All right. Well, hold on, let me see. I want to share with you guys. Okay. So another play to our tailback off of our 40 series. And now we're going to run it like a wide trap, but we're going to use the play side halfback, and he's going to kick out the guy on or outside the play side tackle. It's better if he's outside the play side tackle. And we're getting that guard around. He's pulling. And this is like kind of the same thing as inside trap, but we're running it as if it's like power off tackle. So these guys are going to double team here, and we're going to kick out this guy. We're going to let our tight end go up the field. So we get the kick out block right there. And now we're getting our guard. He's got to stay tight to the wall, and he's getting through the alley. And then we're getting our other halfback carrying out a wide fake with our quarterback. And our tailback's just patient, follows the guard, stays right behind him. See if I got this from, I think next, here we go. Give you guys an end zone shot. So we got this guy inside the tight end here. And we get double team, should get movement there. This guy's now untouched. He's used to getting touched. He's going to get up the field a little bit. And here we come with our play side halfback, and he's kicking him out. And our guard is coming around. He kind of gets tripped up a little bit. He gets enough piece of that linebacker. And you can see, I'm going to just rewind it just a little bit. Here is our other back running like he's got the football, and our quarterback. So again, these are kind of a little bit choppy. We will have these for you guys at the end, but when we talk about things that have been really good for us, these are some of the things that we've learned over the last few years that have been very helpful. Again, here's that same play. It's going to come here to this side. We're going to kick this guy out. Get the kick out. This guy's unblocked. He kind of comes up the field. He's got a running back coming wide, layered like he's got the football. And then our guard and our back is just following the guard, and then he's off from there. So wish we would have got to this a little bit earlier. These guys gave us a hard time, and this was basically our best stuff in this game. But again, this was something that I learned through a Zoom with some coaches from other states, and it's been something that we have really taken a lot from. Again, right here, this is a good picture for us of the wall and the alley. See how that guard's right there? He's tight. We talk about smacking butts, staying tight, get through there and extend the wall. Now he's an extension. He's looking for the first dirty thing inside or get vertical. And the tailback is got a good relationship right behind him, taking it down the field. And this play pops for us. So just trying to find different areas. Like if you're having a hard time trapping this guy in here, this was the answer. Let's go a little bit wider and use our off tackle power trap, which those things feed off of each other. But you know, that's kind of the stuff that I felt would be good, that has been good for us, and just want to share it with you know, some of you guys. And you know, I'm gonna throw it back to Nate and see if there's any questions. Let me see here, Nate. I'm trying to figure this out.
Got it. You're set.
Okay. Make you the host. There we go.
Yep. We're all set up. Man, Coach, first of all, thank you for sharing. Really appreciate that. I've got my list of questions over here. They kind of jump all over the place. So,
yeah,
you know, hope you don't mind.
Okay.
I'm just going to jump in. Okay. So how did you start to, was it just through a Zoom getting the idea that it was like, okay, sometimes we need to trap with backfield going opposite or with counteraction?
You know, honestly, I can't tell you how much I've been blessed to just have great relationships with really good football coaches. And I think the thing that is something that we have to do is we have to be humble, and you know, you got to ask for help, you know. And when we were struggling, we're like, we see other people doing this well and having big success, and we're not having the same thing. So, we have a firm belief that it's either, the coaches, the players, or the scheme. And we can control 2 out of those 3, so you have to, go out and try to find the opposite scheme. Actually found from just a regular wing T guy, a 2-back guy that, they would go trapping off tackle, and then they would just trap it to the same side. And I said, well, we can apply that to the T. And, looking and seeing people that do similar stuff to you, and everyone has their own little niche, and just trying to make it fit for what you do. And that's kind of where that came from. And honestly, you get guys that you got to study the way people are defending you. And that was what we were able to do with a couple of those. Like, hey, we feel like they're going to read X, Y, or Z. And if they do that, they're creating an advantage on these plays. So we got to try to have a change up to say, yep, that's going to work on our bread and butter plays. But now all of a sudden we're going to go something different, one thing different. And like, for instance, in one of the games, we ran opposite one time. And then once we hit it one time, then everything else started going, because it was like a key breaker, I think for some guys. And, I've experienced that with coaching defense. You're going to defend what they do best. And, when you can teach concepts to your kids, like, hey, this is a trap play, or this is a power play, then I think it makes it easier to transition. Like, hey, let's adjust this, and in the one where we were running the trap with the halfback still to the tailback, it was a halftime thing where we're like, all right, guys, we're going to do this, but we're going to trap this guy with the halfback. And so it was building upon a concept that we already knew, but it was something I had seen on a Zoom, and I kind of just we didn't have time to get it in. And at halftime, we're like, man, that play would work. And we ran that play twice in the second half, and it was like 100 and something yards rushing, or 100, so when you put in the time and you study, I think it comes back to you, but I think, when you come to our practice, you're going to hear build a wall of friendly buttholes, guards, you're in an alley, you're pulling, or guards, you're trapping, this is the way you can do it. I tell the kids all the time, when I played, I was a center, and then the coach moved me to guard, and I pulled on a play, and he said, what'd you do? I said, I was awesome. I killed that guy. He said, that was terrible. You pulled to the right and you hit with your left shoulder. And I told him I felt like I was nothing. I felt so defeated. And then he ran the play again 3 or 4 plays later, and he said, how'd you do? I said, I sucked. And he said, no, that was perfect. And I remember being a 15-year-old kid, like, wait, that's it? So I do really believe, like, as coaches, we got to coach on every play. And that's not just when they do it wrong. It's when they do it right. Kids need to have that feedback. Like, hey, that was a great job. You did this really well. And, coach on the fly, when you're going, you're running plays. If you're coaching offensive line and that guard's pulling and he's trapping, hey, get your head more inside, or you did a great job there. I really like how you did that, or if they didn't do it right, hey, you got to get a better path. And that's what we really try to do, is just be, we're teachers. It's what we do, man. We got to teach the kids the schemes and go from there.
So this second question, I'm jumping down, but it feeds into this one. And you kind of answered it, but in a game, how do you know when it's time to use the opposite? Or do you just mix it in so that you're keeping them honest, and you're making it tough for them? They can't get away with just reading one thing.
We will have coaches that will be looking for, like, hey, let's see, are they keying our guards? Are they keying our halfbacks? Are they reading the butt of the quarterback? So there are some things that can be like, yeah, we can read this and we can go. But we have to not watch like we're a spectator watching when we're coaching. We have to have guys with jobs that are reading and watching what their defensive players are doing and get a feel. And if we can manipulate them in any way, we've got things that we can do that with. And I do think it is a science to doing it, to have that discipline to watch those guys. But you got to delegate things to your staff, and then you got to trust them when they give you stuff.
I'm going to jump just to the top here. How do you win over kids and parents when you're in this offense?
Well, I think that you just you believe in it. You got to coach your kids, and a big thing that we say is you got to keep the outsiders on the outside. And when I came here in 2009, I think it was about the 25 years that before I was here, I think they won 34 games, and never made the playoffs and hadn't won the league title since like the 70s. And we came in and we're right off a 11-mile road, and people are driving by and saying, "You suck," and our kids can hear it. And I just said, "Hey, keep the outsiders on the outside." And then that first year we started 3-0 and we're winning games, and now people are driving by honking horns and saying, "You guys are awesome, go Huskies." And I said, "Stop, keep the outsiders on the outside." So I really think that that's one of the things that we do really well is we tell them, like, your dad isn't here, your uncle's not here, your grandpa's not here, you're here. Like, those people love you, but they're on the outside because they're not in here. So they don't know it. So you have to believe, because, you get a lot of different influences in kids' lives that are going to tell them, "Hey, yeah, this guy's really good," or "You can't do that." I mean, I know you said you were at wrestling practice. I used to coach wrestling, and we had a really good program where I was at, and we had a 103 pounder that wasn't worth anything, really. I mean, he was soft as can be. And I read a kid's lip that said, "Oh, he's from that school." And the kid was way better than our kid. And he went out there and he just lost to our kid, because the mind is a powerful thing. Like, we really believe in that aspect of it. Like, there's nobody any tougher than us. We're not any tougher than anybody else. It all comes down to our attitude and our effort and the work that we put in. Don't be defeated. Don't allow other people to do it. We kind of embrace it. We talk a lot about, like, we're going to be physical. We hit the weight room. We talk about there's a hammer and a nail, and we want to be the hammer. And you just build into that, man, and just pour it into your kids. And when you believe in it and you go, I mean, it's really good. We've gotten together with other T teams, and we've done like summer camps together where you get other people that are like-minded that are doing the same thing. And it's really nice when those guys are real successful, and our kids can see it. And, we're blessed that they buy into it.
Man, really well said. I just get pumped up listening. All right, on to the next question. How do you fight the urge for multiplicity?
Oh, well, to be totally honest, we've always had a little something, on the side. And every year we've done that. We've gotten less and less of doing that. We had a pretty good athlete at quarterback, and we had a couple of taller guys that we could throw the ball to. And, we were like, okay, well, let's do some wing tee principles out of the spread wing tee. And, we were battling in a game and we were doing that stuff, and we had a false start on a motion, or, just some stuff. And I'm thinking, what am I doing? Like, you can't live in two worlds, like, that's the thing that you have to do. And, my senior linemen were like, "Coach, the spread stuff's fun, but let's just stay in the tee." And then when we did that, they just didn't stop us, So you do have a maturation process as a coach, or at least I did, because you think, well, what if we need to score really quick, or if there's not a lot of time. And ultimately, I heard a coach say, if you're having struggles, it's probably because you're not coaching what you're supposed to be coaching good enough. So it's a time factor. There's so many different ways to block off tackle, to block trap, to block various different plays. And when you have all those tags and stuff, you just don't have enough time. And I believe that repetition is the key. We want our kids to be able to do this stuff without thinking and just react. And if we live in two different worlds, it makes it tough.
I got one last question for you here, Coach. Do you guys find yourselves, are you heavy to one way trap? Like, we really like trap this way or power this way, or you guys, is it a priority to make sure we can do what we do both ways?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's natural to get a little bit right-handed. when you got a right-handed quarterback with some stuff. But we do try to, like in practice, we're very intentional about, hey, if we're running 41, then we're coming right back with 40, 40, or vice versa, running those plays to both direction, because it is important. One of the things about the T is we're 5.5, meaning, you draw a formation up, you draw a line through the center and the quarterback. You got 5.5 guys to the right, you got 5.5 guys to the left. And we're pulling the backside guard on most plays, and we're getting the backside halfback over on our power plays. So now all of a sudden that 5.5 has now become 7.5, or 8, that we're getting those guys on one side of the line of scrimmage probably faster than the defense can get those guys over there. So that is the thing that's kind of made sense to me the most, because as a defense, if I put 6 guys to one side and, I got 5 to the other, but they got 6 to that side of my 5, I'm outflanked. I don't have enough leverage. And I think that's why you have schools that do well in the T that beat teams that maybe have more star players, high college recruits, because to me, it's an equalizer. We're going to slow the game down. We're going to control the ball. And it's something that people, they don't see, and through 28 years of coaching, I've seen it go from pro I to 1 back, 11 personnel to 10 personnel to sniffers and power reads and all these different things. And if you look in those same decades, you still see T teams way back then and now. And to me, I'm about consistency. So I feel like this isn't a fad. It's something, and there's something to it. And for me personally, I think being able to not tip the hand to say we're always running left or right, and that's why to me, the tailback is the guy, because he's right in the middle and he can get the ball to either side. And we have a way to get him the ball in the A gap, the B gap, the C gap. And that's what has become our go-to player for us.
Man, Coach, I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for your time. Do you have anything to add or to close with?
Yeah, I just want to say that it's a blessing to be a coach, and the opportunity to speak in the lives of young men, something that we shouldn't take for granted. And you never know where these guys are coming from. And I know that we have a responsibility, to teach them the right way, and there are no bad teams. There's no bad players. There's only bad leaders. And it's our job to lead them the right way. And, they're going to remember you the rest of their life because you're their coach. And what are they going to remember? It's not about the wins and losses. It's about, for us, it's about attitude and effort, because those things take no talent whatsoever. So I'm grateful God has blessed me to coach a game that brings people together. And, we did it at a place that if you look up the history, it wasn't really good. We've never cheated. We've coached the kids we've got, and it's just hard work. And it can happen anywhere. Kids are the same wherever you go. They want to know, do you know what you're talking about? And do you care about me? And if you do that, good things will happen.
Well, Coach, thank you so much. If any of you guys want to get a hold of Coach, shoot him a DM through Twitter. It's at Threet. So Threet. Look him up through there. And there's film coming right afterwards. Coach, stick around when I stop the recording, and then just a couple little details. We'll wrap it up.
Awesome. Thank you.